All right, Pickle. It's Thursday, which means that it is football in Texas.
That was a bad dismount.
660-plus Texas high school football games scattered hither, scattered yon across the state of Texas in Week 4 of the Texas high school ball season, and we're going to pick every single one of them. All right, first, starting off, Fairfield at Buffalo. Who you got?
Fairfield.
Okay, great pick. Bells at Cooper.
Oh, ooh, that's kind of tasty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Bills.
All right, let's go Bovina at Seagraves.
No, you can't even say it right. Let's go Seagraves.
And then finally, last one, let's go Decatur at Graham.
Another good one. I'm going to go Decatur.
Okay. Anyway.
Someone please write those down and check me on Monday.
Pickle goes 4-0. We're going to do that every Thursday.
Okay. Pickle's random picks of the week.
But there are a number of games that we've certainly got our eye on. And I'm going to roll out the top 10 Texas high school football games of the week in Week 4. We'll start with number 10. Go out west to Bushland for Canyon West Plains and Bushland. This game, a fascinating matchup of two teams we have very high hopes for. Bushland off to a 3-0 start. A fantastic win last week over Midland Christian, and you remember they probably got that signature win, I would say, over Canadian, which was a very, very impressive victory for them. Their defense has been absolutely rock solid to start the year, and now they get an opportunity to play one of the newest rising programs in Texas high school football, the Wolves of Canyon West Plains. West Plains does have a loss. They lost their opener at Seminole, but since then, they have figured things out on both sides of the ball, have put up 122 points in their first 3 games. I'm very excited to see this high-flying offense led by their outstanding quarterback, Reed Macon, going up against this great Bushland defense on the road. This is a 4A versus a 3A matchup, and so I'm interested to see how that all shakes out, but I do think that this game has an opportunity to be really fantastic up there in the Panhandle, Bushland, and Canyon West Plains. Number 9, South Lake Carroll and Euless Trinity. You want to talk about brand names. I don't know if you can get any more brand name than this. This is as big as it gets. We talked a lot about South Lake Carroll last week with they had a really nice win over Byron Nelson, right? We haven't talked a lot about Trinity, and I feel like Trinity might be, I can't believe I'm saying this about Euless freaking Trinity, they might be underrated. They might be flying under the radar a little bit because I think the District 4-6A title could be on the line here, but this Trinity offense is firing on all cylinders, averaging 56 points a game. They've got Ethan Wright, kind of their do-it-all star. Josh Bell is kind of the tip of the spear offensively. The question for me is, can the Euless Trinity defense figure it out against what has been a hard-charging running attack with guys like Riley Wormley and Davis Penn leading the way for South Lake Carroll? That game is going to be fantastic, and like I said, the District 4-6A title could be on the line there. South Lake Carroll at Euless Trinity. Number 8.
Oh, goodness. Hang on. Sorry. Technical snafu on episode 1800. There we go.
Willis at the Woodlands. We're going to talk with Trent Miller, the head coach of the Willis Wildcats, coming up here in just a moment. I think the District 13 6A title's on the line tonight. I think these are the two best teams in District 13 6A. 2, we'll talk about it more in the picks as well. I love the quarterback matchup in this one because you've got two guys who had big shoes to fill. Mabry Matauer and DJ Lagway are gone, obviously, and they have both filled them in with Jack Dalton for the Woodlands and then Jack Emerson for the Willis, and they have been really, really rock solid. And what I want to see in this one is which of these defenses can step up. I think it is a terrific District 13 6A showdown, and I think it has an opportunity tonight to be a fantastic game. Willis and the Woodlands. To number 7, Jayton and Knox City. Let's talk a little 6-man ball.
This rocks.
This game's fantastic. Another state-ranked matchup. You've got the number 1 team in 1A Division II, the Jayton Jaybirds, who have been really, really solid all year long, punching up a classification or a division rather, to the number 7 team in the state, the Knox City Greyhounds. And this is a real opportunity to get a feather in the cap, I think, for Jayton. This is a 3-0 versus 3-0. And for Knox City, I think the real headline for them has been what they've been able to do offensively, and specifically what they've been able to do offensive balance-wise. They have a sophomore named Xander Abila. That is a name you need to know moving forward. Xander Abila for Knox City has been absolutely terrific. Going up against a Jayton team that really prides themselves on their defense. Their defense has been excellent to start the year. They've given up 16 points in 3 games, and by the way, they played Westbrook, Klondike, and Turkey Valley. They haven't given up a point. Ooh, when was the last time? When did Westbrook score last in that game? They have not given up a point in 2.5 games.
Goodness.
In the 6-man ranks.
That's insane.
They've been excellent. That is strength on strength there. Jayton and Knox City. Number 6, Fort Bend Marshall and Richmond Randall. Absolutely fascinated by this ball game. This is another Thursday night affair. This is a pure prospect factory game. Tons of speed, tons of playmakers. Landon Williams-Callis, the outstanding sophomore running back for Richmond Randall. He is going to be on full display, I think, for a big audience here. And furthermore, I think you've got a District 9-5A Division II kind of decider here. And the playmakers, Tyler Skrbonik for Richmond Randall, Fort Bend Marshall has got dudes all over the place, especially on the defensive side. Let me set a narrative here for this game. I think that for the longest time, Fort Bend Marshall has been the Houston area 5A Division II team of record. And I think Richmond Randall, by beating them in the playoffs last year, I think that they announced they're coming for the crown.
Yep.
I think they can do it tonight when they take on Fort Bend Marshall. A fabulous game, Richmond Randall and Fort Bend Marshall. Number 5.
Love this.
Belleville and Hitchcock.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
This game
is the Williston Woodlands, by the way.
Yes. This game is going to be aces. Belleville probably needs no introduction at this point. What they've done this year and just the playmakers they've got. There's a great piece on TexasFootball.com from our own Carter Yates about Belleville's brothers, D.D. Murray and D.J. Sanders. This team is absolutely... They are box office. They are worth the price of admission. And after kind of their week 1 loss to Salina, which I think we can agree has aged pretty well, they now have an opportunity to get right back in the saddle and come up with a big win. But they will need to do it against a Hitchcock team that we know has got dudes. We know that they have got playmakers all over the field. And the question for this Belleville team is, can they find a way to contain the playmakers for this Hitchcock team, because this is one of the most explosive teams in Texas high school football. And what I want to see is what the Belleville front, especially DJ Sanders, can they get pressure on Lloyd Jones III? Can they make Kelshawn Johnson play in a phone booth? This is a really fascinating ball game, I think, which will tell us a lot about the Belleville defense. And then on the other side for Hitchcock, this would be a real signature win. This is 3A versus 4A, so punching up a classification. But their defense has had trouble in 2 of their first 3 games, but they kind of outscored their problems for the most part. I want to see if that defense can come up with a couple stuff. Fascinating ball game. Could get pointsy. Number 5, Belleville and Hitchcock. Number 4.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Franklin at Salina, 4A versus 3A.
It's actually in Waxahachie.
In Waxahachie, that's right. In Waxahachie, meeting in the middle. A game that'll be over in an hour and a half. They're going to run the dang ball.
Yeah, the whole time.
Franklin, of course, out of the slot T, Jaden Jackson, Bubba Jackson, running the ball. They've been fantastic. Salina, through their non-district gauntlet, is trying to come out unscathed. Their running game with Harrison Williams and Franklin Gutierrez, that big offensive line, this is a matchup of what I want to see is can Franklin's depth hold up? That's the real question in this one. They are the smaller school in this one. And so, can their depth hold up against a Salina team that just wants to pound you? This is going to be a fascinating ball game and an old school football game. Old school, just smash mouth football. It's going to be fun stuff. Number 3.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Carthage at Tyler Chapel Hill. I think there's a fair argument to be made that this is the game of the year in East Texas. Carthage and Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill is, of course, the state finalist from a year ago in 4A Division I, and they've got dudes all over the place. Ricky Stewart, most notably, the state's leading rusher from a year ago. And then you add in Demetrius Brisbane, their outstanding quarterback. Now, he was nicked up in their previous game. Want to see what his status is going up against his Carthage team. Carthage's defense has not had a problem all year long. Their defense has been aces. But if you remember, week 1, they struggled against Kilgore offensively. They woke up in a big way last week against Liberty Ilo. What is for real? Like, was it a slow start? I think if they go out there and they beat Chapel Hill and that offense gets going against Chapel Hill, I think we can chalk up that week 1 game to Kilgore to just a slow start. But if they struggle in this one, suddenly it's like you start asking some questions about how wide open 4A Division II is. And for Chapel Hill, I mean, if you beat Carthage, that is headline news in East Texas.
Yes.
Plain and simple. Fascinating ball game there at Bulldog Stadium in Tyler. Number 2.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
It's Austin Westlake at Cibolo Steel. It's Austin versus San Antonio in a just spectacular slugfest.
Mm-hmm.
I could break this down a few different ways, but the money matchup here is the Cibolo Steel offense, which is tied for third in 6A right now in scoring offense, up against the Westlake defense, which is always one of the very best in the state. Can Westlake shake off the loss to Atascocita? Can Cibolo Steel make their own plays defensively? And can they become the first San Antonio area team since 2008 to beat Austin Westlake? That's not a typo. Austin Westlake has not lost to a San Antonio area team since 2008. And by the way, they play them a lot. This isn't like they're not like 1-0. They're like 17-0. They've absolutely dominated them. So it is a really, really fascinating ball game. Can the narrative shift in San Antonio? This is Steele's chance to prove that this year is different. But that's not the number one game in the state. The number one game in the state,
live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
It's College Station at A&M Consolidated. The District 12 5A Division I title is, in my opinion, on the line in this one in what apparently they're calling the Same Town Showdown, which is great.
That is a good one.
College Station, I want to see what this new quarterback is able to do with Cade Corcoran. He's been rock solid through the first 2 weeks, 3 games, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. Will Hargett for Consolidated, a 4-year starter at the quarterback spot. His trajectory is terrific. Consol has also had this like weird knack for like coming up with big plays on defense and special teams. Can they come up with that? This is at Tigerland Stadium, but this is about the fact that College Station has never lost to A&M Consolidated. 6-0.
Insane.
It's always close. It's like the average margin's like 8 points. It's always close. But College Station's never lost to Consol. Can the Tigers get off the schneid and, in my opinion, essentially clinch the District 12 5A Division I title? Yeah.
Especially for Consolidated, if they are to win, they've already beaten Pflugerville Weiss, which is likely that third-place team, right, unless it's a 3-way tie.
I would agree. So there you have it. My top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. As you heard our producer say, you can watch like a bunch of them live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Yeah, literally the top
4 at least.
Top 5. And then a couple extras.
And by the way, I do not make that in consultation with our schedule.
No, we just happen to make sure that we grab the best games in the state this week.
TexanLive.com is where you can become a Dave Campbell's Texas football subscriber, as well as TexasFootball.com/subscribe to watch games all weekend long.